Miscellaneous Rants, podcast number one. And welcome to the maiden voyage of Miscellaneous Podcast, which is an extension from my blog, miscellaneousrants.blogspot.com. And although I had thought that maybe my first post would or podcast would be introducing myself to you and doing some lighthearted stuff and maybe injecting a little humor here or there. With all the recent developments that are happening lately in Roanoke County regarding the police, I thought that I would like to speak about that first. Now, I've never been shot by the police. I've never been beaten by the police. I am not black. I am a white woman. But I can tell you, I, and along with my husband, have had guns held to our heads by the Roanoke County Police. And that was after they came to my house instead of going to the correct address. But we'll get back to that in a little bit. Now, over the last couple of months, the Roanoke County Police have been involved in a couple of brouhahas, nothing very positive. And the latest one concerns an incident that happened this past Sunday night. Apparently, somebody was drunk in a car, passed out or something like that. And when the 32-year-old was being given a sobriety test by the Roanoke County Police, he took off and he ran. Prior to that, he gave his wrong ID information, so the police gave chase and I guess tackled him to the ground and put cuffs on him. Now, there just so happened to be another fellow who was in the parking lot area who then videoed some of the incident with his phone. Claims were then later made that the police had violated this person pretty badly. I think at one point I even read somewhere that they tased him in the rectum. So I don't know what the whole thing was, and I was reserving my judgment until I saw the actual video. The video was to be revealed yesterday afternoon at a press conference which was held in front of Roanoke City Police Station. And I don't know why they didn't go to Roanoke County Police, other than maybe it was too far away from where everybody was living or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I did forget to mention that the person at the Roanoke County Police arrested was a black man, and there were four different groups associated with, I think it's Black Lives Matter, the Roanoke NAACP, Justice for County Spencer, and I'm not sure of the fourth one, along with the fellows, parents, and the person who shot the actual video. The participants are clearly not happy with Roanoke County Police and the way they treat their black citizens. At that time, I still had not seen this taping of the incident, and it wasn't until last night that I actually saw, I guess it was a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes, something like that. And I have to tell you, from what I saw, first of all, it was shot terribly. Very dark. I mean, so far, the person who was shooting, like, just kept talking over it, and it didn't really reflect anything going on that I had read about on the internet. Now, I had heard, or I had read, that the county cops had pulled this man's pants and his underwear down. I think I read another post that he was tasered in the rectum, another one that when he was on the floor they were pounding him. Did not see any of that. Now, that's not to say it didn't happen or before he started to shoot or whatever the reason may be, but what was being circulated out on the internet of the video did not reflect that abuse. I have since learned that the statement was why it was not shown is that the family of the individual who was arrested had requested it not be shown, and I could certainly respect that. But in the same instance, you can't be saying that you have this and you're going to prove it and you're going to show this and then not make good with the goods. Now, most of the people are saying that this person was treated this way because he was black. Now, I have a problem with that. As a white woman who was held at gunpoint by the Roanoke County Police, I can vouch that they are an equal opportunity offender. Now, you might say, well, you were white. That's why they didn't shoot you. No, I didn't get shot by the county police who came to my house at almost midnight at the wrong address with a SWAT team never identifying themselves and holding my husband and I at gunpoint. The reason we did not get shot was we complied. Now, we knew they were wrong. We knew they had to be at the wrong house. They had the wrong people. They were being total assholes and treating us like shit. But what were we going to do as we're staring down the barrel of guns from 8 different cop cars? Are we going to argue with them? Are we going to get belligerent? Or are we going to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, our hands are on top of our heads, and try to talk rationally so that they don't have an itchy trigger finger? Once they realized they were at the wrong address, thanks to my making them aware of it, and they fled without even so much of an apology, to say I was pissed off is probably an understatement. You can read an account of the entire incident at my blog, miscellaneousrants.blogspot.com, and it's spelled MSELENAEOUSRANTS blogspot.com. And what I decided to do was then to have this incident investigated. So the way I went about it is by contacting the Roanoke County Police Chief, my County Board of Supervisor representative, the County Administrator. When you read the post, you'll see who got back to me and who didn't. As if the occurrence of going to a wrong party's house, even when you have the correct address, and holding a couple of 50-something-year-olds at gunpoint for no reason at all wasn't bad enough. Worse than that was I discovered the incident was not reported. And not only was my incident not reported, but the initial call to service incident was never reported. Neither was any action that actually happened that night at the correct address was also not reported. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, that stinks. Something smells rotten in Roanoke. What's going on here? Is this a cover-up? Now, I already am assigned an investigation through Internal Affairs, so they should uncover everything, shouldn't they? But really, when you think about it, even though it's not one of the police who were involved in the actual occurrence, it is still one of their own that is investigating the affair. Can I trust him to be fair and unbiased and to look at this with an eye from the outside looking in? I don't know. I still haven't heard back anything yet. I was told that the that the investigation could take 90 days, but it was going to be found out much quicker than that. It's already over 30 days, and I still haven't heard anything yet. Now, there wouldn't even be a need for such an in-depth affair if Roanoke County police officers had had body cams on them, which recorded everything that happened, or if they had their cams on, or one of the officers themselves were recording everything, because you would think if you were going to a house with 8 different cop cars dressed in bulletproof vests and SWAT gear, that somebody should have been recording that. Mr. Murdoch was fortunate in that there was a citizen covering the incident on Sunday night so that they have an actual video of it, but I was not that fortunate to have that. Oh, I have it now. You can't come near the perimeter of my home without being recorded. And that added expense has nothing to do with criminals. That added expense has to do with the actions of the Roanoke County Police Department. So, to all these groups that are calling for an investigation into what happened Sunday night with Mr. Murdoch, I say absolutely, that is the best way to do it. Request an internal investigation, but get thee behind me. Do not make your investigation supersede my investigation, which is still going on. I want answers too. It doesn't matter if you're black or if you're white. The Roanoke County Police Department should be treating the citizens all the same. And if they're just running wild, we need to find out what is going on and why that is happening. We need to have transparency in the police department, and that is something that we all should be working together to achieve and to make changes where there needs to be changes to made. But meanwhile, what you need to do is if you find yourself in a situation where the police are confronting you, don't fight them. What is the point of doing that? You are only going to hurt yourself. And to those people who say, well, if he didn't run away, the police, they wouldn't have done anything to him. And if you always obey the law, the police are not going to do anything to you. I say wrong. You could be sitting in your own house on a Saturday night, just minding your own business, when trouble comes knocking on your door. And again, even though you know they're 1000% wrong, you have to put up with that shit and then make them answer for their actions in the complaint, which you should file immediately afterwards. Another thing, make sure you get at least one of their names and or badge number. Very important. Well, that's the first podcast under my belt. Went a little longer than I thought it would. I just want to wish everyone a good night, stay out of trouble, and stay safe.